Hi, hello. I'm here. I'm not sure if you can hear me clearly or see me. I'm
Yeah, we
connecting
can.
with my phone.
There we go. We can see you now.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's maybe just a little bit.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you. Did I mute?
Okay.
Did I mute?
Yes, thank you, everyone. I've missed the introduction, so I'm not sure what we are doing. Are we introducing ourselves?
No, we're just introducing ourselves now.
Okay. So my name is Kuputo Magoro. So Zuri is actually not my name.
Oh,
So
come.
you can call me Kuputo, which is my name.
Okay,
Um,
so I got you.
yeah, I'm joining from Pretoria, and
So,
I'm also a student at this university, currently busy with a PhD, which led to the establishment of Mamaila Community Network. Thank you.
okay, thanks. Thanks, Kupoto. And then the last to introduce themselves is Ono Purvo, who's our keynote speaker. Hey, Ono, haven't seen you in 20 years, man.
20 years. Wow. Okay.
Almost.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bill, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Ono. I'm from Indonesia. Has been trying to connect the Indonesian to the internet for the last 20 plus years and still struggling until now. Thank you for the opportunity. Back to you, Bill. Thank you.
Okay, well, I think I wanted to suggest a little bit of a change to our program. We usually go for like 50 minutes, take a break, but I think let's go until 1 o'clock our time and then take a half-hour break and then we'll come back for another 40 minutes. But at first I thought we would have everybody talk first, but now that I see you, Ono, and Sean's leaving, and David's here, and like all these other people from around the world, because Eric's in Europe and Sid's in India, Ono's in
Indonesia.
and Indonesia, and all these others are all over. All yeah, Indonesia and all the other ones are all over South Africa. Ono, can you talk first? Because you've been doing this for a really long time, man. Do you want to go first? Do you want to talk first for us, please?
Okay.
Bill, I have to say this. Uno, if you say you've been struggling, you're still struggling. I feel I have no hope of building a community network. Because, wow, you're like the beginning of this
Yeah,
movement.
well, Ono's the beginning. We also just I just admitted one more person from Europe to the call. It's Rudy Westerfeld. Rudy, do you want to just introduce yourself for a minute before Ono starts to talk? If you just
Yes, well, sorry I'm a little bit late, but I'm in the course of changing homes. I used to work in Mozambique for about 4.5 years in ICT, telecommunications, and so forth. And I became interested in rural telecommunications. And and in that way, I ended up at a certain moment in South Africa and with Bill, and we became involved with all kinds of projects in the rural environment. And I'm now already retired, but I'm still interested. That's why I'm here.
okay, thanks for joining us, Rudy.
Yeah.
Especially consider you're moving home. I really appreciate it. Okay, and there's one more person joined us, Dichego. Do you want to introduce yourself, please, quickly?
Okay, it's getting complicated. I moved from my cell phone to my laptop, so Gitabo Huputo is the same person. And those are my names.
Okay. Oh, that's you. Your
Yes,
name's changed all the time.
I will update. I've got many names, but the real names, Huputo and Gitabo.
I got it now. Okay, it's confusing. All right, Ono, over to you, man. It's your show now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll try to share my screen. Hopefully, it works. So, basically, what I'm trying to do is very similar with IETF, Global Access to the Internet for All. IETF is Internet Engineering Task Force. Global Access is to the Internet for All, so everyone can connect to the Internet. You can check IETF Gaia in their websites. So basically what we do in the last 20 plus years is basically we managed to build 60,000 community network in Indonesia, and mostly are self-financed. They finance their own network. So if you know wok for cooking, in Indonesia it's called wajan. In English is wok. In Indonesia is wajan. If you know parabolic antenna, so we mix these two, wajan and parabolic antenna. It's called wajan bolik. And if you see this, it's all Indonesian language. It's all Indonesian, all over internet. So we basically, the trick is to build community network is to educate the people, and they share how to build a low-cost network using kitchenware. So basically, this is one example. And then some of our guys is actually connecting this island and this island. This is Sulawesi Island. To give you some perspective, they are connecting this site to this site, which is about 300 kilometers. So they connect these two, 300 kilometers. This is their connection. To give you some idea, this has only been done like 5 years ago. So this is their connection. They also have connection to the Philippines, to going up here. Okay. So this is their connection, and then this is the equipment they are using now. So this is the relay station in the middle of the sea around this area. The distance is about 150 kilometers. The total distance is about 300 kilometers. So we are looking at this kind of equipment and this kind of struggle we are trying to build. But at the end of the day, the workshop training is becoming more powerful, and the community network we called in Indonesia is RT-RW Net. If you look at Google, RT-RW Net, you will find a lot of services all over the place, from Indonesian to other Indonesian, how to build this thing. They sell the service to build these things. So many people actually building this thing, and then they are gradually moving to cellular network. It's documented in my Wikipedia, and then this is what they are doing. I'll show you some picture of them. Okay, these are now fiber optics. The speed is about 1 gigabit per second, and they are connecting many villages using this fiber optic. So they move from from wireless to fiber optics. This is in very south of our islands. This is another village. So you can see it's very village. You can see the like the terrain, the forest, and this is also in another village. So many people now move towards fiber optics. The speed is much higher than wireless, and they actually running a lot of training. If you use this kind of keywords in Google, you will find a lot of people running this kind of training all over Indonesia. So that's how we built the network. It's basically people's power, how to empower this guy to gain the knowledge and build the network. And it's all self-financed. You can get the references from Australian National University in 2016. They held the Indonesian project of ANU. They held a conference on digital Indonesia. They published the report there. but you this is a little bit cheating. So I upload my report on the web, so you can download my paper in my websites. This is URL. For some reason I cannot put in the chatting box. So this is if you can email me, I can share the URLs. You can download this for free. Basically, the report is like this. This is the report, very written, not much pictures. But in this URL, a lot of slides, so you can see a lot of pictures. Okay, that's it. Hopefully it gives you some idea how we struggle and how we build this thing. Basically, we have no power, but we have people, and we provide knowledge to the people to build their own network. That's basically the whole idea. And today we have 60,000 community network in Indonesia, and we are shifting from wireless to fiber optics. Thank you. Back to you, Bill. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. Onno, thanks a lot. Who wants to go next? And then we'll just like have little talks, and then we'll do a Q&A, like in the second session. So we've got time. That was super quick, Onno.
Oh. How long you would like to say?
Oh, wait. Before we
Can I
go
just
to the
ask?
speaker, I want to ask something too, David. You and I are going to ask the same thing, I know. How do you do 60,000 community networks? Come on, man.
Oh, okay. Very simple. I use media social. I use Twitter. I use Facebook. I have 40,000 followers in my Twitter account, and people ask me a lot of questions through Twitter. So my Twitter account is basically open school. So very simple.
So wait, with 60,000 community networks, how large are each of these networks? Like how many people?
Not large, not very large. It's basically like small. Like a small village, basically. Hundreds of people, less than 1,000, basically.
Wow.
Small.
If there's, let's say, average of, I mean, how many people are connected, would you say, with community networks now in Indonesia? Total number of
If the average is like 50 to 100, 50 to 100 people per network, so we can see like a million, a couple of million.
Wow.
Well,
That's
not
insane.
wow. That's still small. We have 240 million people in Indonesia. So it's like 6 to 10 million is nothing.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, like, if we look at Africa, how many people are we connected with community networks? I don't think we were at 100,000 even. I don't know. What? Maybe 10,000. What would you say, Bill?
I did a quick calculation on the whiteboard, and I calculated that 25% of Indonesians are connected with community networks. That's only 60 million people.
Yes.
Can I ask Onno a question?
Sure.
Is my math correct?
So, yeah.
Is the problem.
Sorry, am I jumping the gun? David, you were supposed to go before me. No.
Oh, am I talking? I didn't realize I'm talking.
No. I want to ask Onno a question. I just want to know if I'm in the queue. Bill?
Yeah, go for it, Sean.
So, Onno, I mean, like Bill, I'm astounded. I mean, we have to talk some more, really, to get to learn more about how you've achieved all of this. So I just want to reflect a little bit on our experience with Zenzeleni, which is the work Bill and I have been involved in. How does, let's just take any example of any village, how are they sustaining themselves in terms of because the biggest problem for me as I look and reflect on Zenzeleni is the issue of the sustainability of it. So whilst the project's been able to create and build a network with project and donor funding, etc., but keeping it going being able to maintain it, being able to create a ecosystem of income for the local cooperative that actually owns a network are challenges that are, quite difficult. So in your case, how does each network sustain itself? Just
Okay.
as an ongoing network, costs and income and expenditure.
Okay, let me give you some idea on the the number, the income and expenditure. Okay, let me see. Okay, this one, for example. Okay, the cost of the one community network cost about is about this and up to around 50. Okay, so this is higher. Let me see the highest one. Okay, this is this one. Like this is a package for community network with for 200 users. It costs about 10 million rupiah, which is what divided by 10,000 US dollar. So that's like 1,000 US dollar, something like that. So we are looking at about 1,000 US dollar for 200 users. Okay, now they actually the people actually pay for this. The user will pay. They pay about this much. Okay, 3,000 to 3,000 to 5,000 per day per user. So this is the cost they have to pay. So we can calculate 200 times 5,000 per day. So we look at what 10 million per day. Is it correct? My calculation. Oh, sorry. Like this. So 1 million per day, right? 1 million per day. So the income they generate is about 1 million per day. The investment is about 10 million. So within 1 month, they recover the cost basically. So it's very lucrative business basically. Sorry, we make money from this. Sorry. So this is not a free ride. Thank you.
And on a quick follow-up, so on average, so is it like a single entrepreneur who will start this up and keep it going, or is it groups of people that are running the community? Who are the owners of the network business?
Basically, the owner is the community, so it's not government. It's very much private, very community level, small, medium enterprise, but it's considered like 3 or 4 people. So it's not huge, very small, and they run the whole thing. They actually rely on vocational school. We have a lot of vocational schools in Indonesia. It's basically high school level, so we rely on those guys. I am the one actually who changed the vocational school curriculum as well. I am the bad guy actually.
You're terrible.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Bill. Sorry, everyone. Sorry.
Okay, so you're saying leveraging this vocational school infrastructure or distribution network as a springboard for launching the community networks.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because we need people. Yeah. The key is people, not technology actually.
So another last question. I have so many, and this is awesome to see. I met you, Onno, back in 2006, First Mile, First Inch project, where I also met Bill.
No, it's 2003 or 2004.
You're right. Yeah. The project started right.
That's
way
long
back
time
then.
ago. Yeah.
And I remember we were like playing with containers, and
Yes.
I think back then like you probably had 3 or 4 networks, or
Yes. Small.
and I think you were put in prison. I remember that.
Nearly
story.
put in prison. Exactly.
Have you visited prison again?
He's a naughty man, this guy. Prison.
Yeah. I seem to meet a lot of people who are put in prison. I've just met another guy who built a community currency that was put in prison in Kenya. And I've realized that if you go to prison, you're usually doing something that's really awesome.
We need to put you in prison, David. We need to put you in prison.
Help me to do something illegal. Yeah. But what else can I ask? Actually, I have one question. Wait. What is the difference in price between, let's say, buying cellular data now and, let's say, you know, a typical community network in Indonesia? Like, how much would you save per gigabyte? Let's say price per gigabyte.
Okay, price-wise, the cellular data is cost about like 50,000 rupiah, 50,000 flat. But the speed, so to be honest, it's about the same. To be honest, it's about the same. But I have to show you this actually. Okay, show you the map of the cellular coverage. We can get to NPREF. Okay, this is the website, and we can check the cellular coverage all over the world. Okay, loading. Oops, my network is. Oops.
So this is while it's loading. This is more of a coverage issue than a
exactly
price.
Exactly. But the other one, the other side of the coin is all the network is owned by the operator. So we actually have to beg to the operator for things or everything. So it's more difficult. Let me see.
Right.
Okay, this is 5G coverage. Let me see if I can go for, okay, this one. This is 2G, 3G coverage. Let me zoom into Indonesia. Basically, if you go to this coverage, basically, not all the coverage is not the country is not covered. The cellular is not covered everywhere in the country, basically. Okay, sorry, the network is not very good.
Yeah,
my network is.
Well, I mean, just roughly, what's the population coverage of 3G in Indonesia?
Wow.
Is it?
To be honest, the population coverage, I have not count. But if you see the report from many sources, the handphone coverage is more than 100%. The handphone, the ownership of the smartphone, the ownership. So many Indonesians have two phones, but the network coverage is not there.
So they'll be using those phones on Wi-Fi in the community network. They don't have cellular.
Exactly.
But they've got a phone.
That's true.
not actually even accessing cellular.
That's true. And they're actually using Wi-Fi for the phone. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. People actually telling that kind of story to me.
That's
and
cool.
we just to give you some more stories. Actually, we actually this is I cannot speak this too loudly. Actually, we actually if you
go to prison?
If you use this kind of keywords, open BTS Papua, then you will see this kind of images. This is Curtis Hamler from the US. He's in Washington DC. He actually running Open BTS the last 7 to 8 years in Papua, and it's still running. It was illegal back then, and we're struggling with the government. Now it's becoming legal in quote, and we actually building more this kind of network, 4G, 5G network in rural villages.
Well, that is cool.
Yeah. So
I smuggled some Open BTS equipment into Zambia in 2010, 2011, and it ran. We actually had 2 base stations running, communicating with each other. This was range network stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That Curtis was playing with, and we had 2 base stations talking to each other and people making free calls. The amazing thing is, we also used a voice gateway to Airtel in Zambia, and it was cheaper to make a call from our cellular network to Airtel because we would bulk buy Airtel time. Then for a person to make a call between Airtel and Airtel, which was totally insane.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what happened actually. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
David, that's a good one. Yeah.
That's cool.
Simba?
So, Bill, Sean, you have to go soon, right?
Sean, you gotta go. Do you want to say something? You want to ask a question or say something or comment on this?
I mean, just maybe a comment from me and maybe to the students behind you. I think a comment that Onno made just now about the people versus the technology and how critical the role of the people is something to keep in mind as we think about all of this. But I've got 10 minutes. I'm going to listen, but I'm trying to prepare for this next session. And hopefully, Bill, we can organize a follow-up session to get, talk more to Onno and learn about what's happening in Indonesia. Because I really think there's, and we could have just a follow-on jamboree from here. I think there's lots more we'd like to learn from their experience.
Well, yeah, it's because like when David and I met Onno back in 2004, we were blown away by what he had done in the previous years. And now David and I have been in the space since then, and Onno, yo, dude, we're still blown away. We can't wrap our heads around 60,000 community networks. I can't count that big. That's a big number. It's just ridiculous. Look, Onno, if I could ask something on behalf of Sean, and that would be what kind of changes were required in the national telecommunications legislation and policy space that enabled something like this to happen, so that you and 60,000 people, community networks, don't get thrown in jail.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Basically, you have three options. Okay, you have three options. You can use power, which is we don't have power because we are people. We don't have power. You can use money, which is we don't have money. We are only people. We have no money. So the last option, if we can use mass, we can use people. So what we do, we educate the Indonesian how to do these things very cheaply and let the people force the government to change the regulation and policy. That's it. So basically, we make the government and the people fight with each other. Sorry, this is bad, I know, but it works. Because the government is so powerful, so we need to balance the power using our own power, which is people. We have no money, we have no power. We have people, we educate them, let them fight with the government. That's it. The other one thing is
really interesting.
Yeah,
thank you.
If we can have international recognition, that will help also. For example, we can say, okay, this guy in Africa, in South Africa, do this in Indonesia, and hopefully the Indonesian government say to the African government or South African government, hey, government, can you please tell us how can you do these things? Basically, the government try to learn from other government as well. So if you can get acknowledgement from other countries, not Indonesia, I guess, from the US, from the Europe, what you are doing, that will create another pressure to your local government. So people and international pressure, that will help change the mindset of the government, basically. Thank you, Bill. I hope I make it clear.
No, I understand. When you say these things, you make it sound so simple, but it's not. It's got. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Takes
just
time.
don't know where to start.
Takes time. Takes years.
Takes time.
It's not
And where do you
instant
start?
process. It takes time. It takes years. But it works. Need passion.
Wow.
Can I ask a question also?
Sure.
Yeah, please, Rudy, please.
Yeah, I'm wondering, does it have to do something also with the ability of the people to, for some people to get together, to raise the money or to invest some money? So the entrepreneurship, which might be more available in Indonesia than in Africa.
Yes, entrepreneurship definitely yes. But I think you guys also have that kind of ability. I don't think that's like the Indonesian have this ability. I think that's because we are talking like small number of money, like 1,000 US dollar. That's not much. So I think you guys can collect that kind of money locally at people's level. That not government level. So it's very possible. But yes, we need that kind of skill, entrepreneur. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about geek density, you know, is there enough geek density in an area to kind of, for people to build, you know, flash some little piece of hardware and build a little dish antenna themselves.
Oh, okay.
And connect things up. So, you know, and there's a certain amount you can do with training, but there's also a kind of a, you know, a knack. People naturally have an inquisitiveness and a sort of geekness. And do you think Indonesia has a natural kind of knack and geek density maybe that we're not seeing?
It's I'm not sure if I will answer you correctly, but what most of us did is through media social, through Twitter, through Facebook. So we talk with each other, and many it's open discussion. So many people learn from our discussion, and they are trying to steal our knowledge on how to build these things. So the geek process is through this kind of discussion, open discussion on the internet, and they listen and they steal the knowledge, and then they actually sharing again what they are doing with us. So the geek process is like this.
Knowledge. If it's open knowledge, you can't steal it.
Yeah.
So Onno, everything on an open source basis. That there's nobody's protecting. You learn and you share, and that's
Exactly.
open.
Yeah. We are using open source. Yeah. I use Linux myself. So I'm having difficulty to connect to this site. This is Microsoft, so I'm a headache.
Yeah, I was just telling Bill. What are you doing with this proprietary stuff? I should be using Jitsi.
Okay.
Hey, Drew, don't. Yeah, okay, but you know what? I work for this university. This university tells me to use Microsoft Teams. If I want to get paid, I have to use Microsoft Teams.
Sorry, Bill.
So maybe
No problem, Bill.
I shouldn't get paid. I should use Jitsi and open it up and get thrown in jail. You want me to get thrown in jail, David?
Yeah, maybe take some lessons from Onno how to mass
All the cool
mobilize.
kids are getting arrested.
Mobilize the university.
Yeah, Onno will give you some lessons. Colleagues, Bill and students, I must apologize. This 45 minutes has been really, I don't even know how to describe it. Absolute pleasure and good to have connected with some familiar faces around the room. I'm going to jump off, but Bill, I'm sure let's organize a follow-up. Please. I don't think we're done with all of this.
Okay, Sean, thanks for joining, man.
Okay, take care. Good luck. Bye. Nice meeting you all.
We got 15 minutes. Would it be okay? We take some questions from the floor, from the students for a bit, and then other speakers too. I mean, you guys just must chime in. Simeon, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, Mr. Onno, I wanted to ask. So, I think that even if a country like South Africa would apply all of the principles that you used in Indonesia, because the Indonesian people are different and the terrain is different as well, it probably wouldn't work here. So it seems very, very
difficult.
How can I say this? It's very cool that you guys found a way to do it in Indonesia. Like it's from the reading that we did, it's not it's not necessarily, there's no recipe to really find a community network that works. So in Indonesia, it's a success story. But I wonder how big of a role the people of that country actually play in to make this possible. Because if the community doesn't buy into the idea of using the internet, then they won't actually support the network. They won't innovate, they won't go online and look how to make these things, because number one, they can't go online. So yeah, how big of a factor do you think that people play?
Okay. To be honest, I'm having difficulty to answer the question, but I'm trying to. I'm trying, but hopefully it's correct. Basically, the Indonesian people is very not greedy. The other side of greedy is the opposite of greedy. They are looking for cheap things. They are looking for cheap solution. They are looking for cheap internet. They are looking for something cheap. They don't want to pay high tariff. So they keep looking for solution because they have no money. Basically, we have very limited amount of money. So we are looking for those kind of thing. And I am being a bad guy. I am very bad. So I write books. I'm writing about 40 books today, 40, 50 books, and mostly about how to build this kind of network, because most of the knowledge in the internet is in English. So we are having difficulty to read this knowledge in English. So somebody have to write the knowledge in Indonesian language. So I write books about this knowledge and publish this book, and people read. Oh, okay, this is how to build the low-cost network, and they are trying to adopt. They are trying to accept the technology, and they play around with it because it's quite cheap. The walk is around $3. Wi-Fi is like $10 or $20. So it's cheap. They play around with it. So basically, I personally exploit the Indonesian behavior. And writing, basically, I exploit and give them cheat. Like if you play a game, you normally looking for cheat. So this is the same. So I provide these people with cheat, how to build a low-cost internet. That's it. Simple. So we have to know the behavior of the people, and we exploit the behavior, provide them with cheat, and then that's it. It works. But it takes years, actually. 20 years. I hope I answered your question. Back to you, Bill.
Bill, can I ask a question? I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi, it's lovely meeting you. I met Bill last week, and he was telling me about you and the work in Indonesia, and I was blown away then. And today, even I can't believe that's the number of 60,000 and the things you're doing there. Well, I'm trying to. So we are working on some community networks in India, but the case in India is the internet here is at a very low cost as compared to South Africa or Indonesia. That's the case. And so we are looking at community networks as an alternative to not just providing internet to the people, but it's more of mobilization and ground up development of knowledge. So I'm looking at community networks as an alternative to a lot of different things which government or corporates are doing. So it's just not internet providing platform, but more of organization and mobilization of people. So have you ever thought of your networks, or are there any cases where it's more about not just the internet, but different things going on into the network? Are there any cases which you want to share with us?
I'll share my screen then. This is a little bit brutal, actually. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. The keyword is internet offline. Confusing, eh? Internet offline. Internet offline. Very confusing keywords. So basically, I make the long story short. Basically, many school during this pandemic crisis, many of us at school, we have to learn from home, right? and then there is no signals, no cellular signals, so they are having difficulty to access the knowledge. So internet offline basically copy the knowledge, the e-book, the e-learning server to local server at school, and let the people access this local server. And now many schools, including the Indonesian Open University, adopting this ID, and they deploy server is they are using this kind of server, mini PC. Okay, like this. It's cost around 400 US dollar, 300 to 400 US dollar, and we use this PC as local server, and they can access the knowledge locally. So this is one example of what we are doing. Basically, we make the internet offline. So that's one example.
That's awesome.
But you guys in India, actually, you are doing a lot of good work, in this area, because we have been talking with ITU guy and the Indian people, and you actually building those kind of thing in India quite well, including Nepal and Bhutan.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to. Do we only have an hour? What's Bill? What's the?
Well, okay, so
deal?
let's say we've got another 9 minutes to do this, and then we'll take a half an hour break and then come back for 40 minutes, and then we can do with that second 40 minutes whatever we want, It's up to you guys. I mean, there are a lot of guests, Kokfozo is here, David, Eric, and Dine's here, Rudy, Sid. I mean, Sammy's here from Nigeria as well. She hasn't spoken up yet. And then there are like 20 students here, most of them paying attention and enjoying the show. So
okay, because I wanted to share with Onno, and Eric's also been doing stuff in this space.
I like to hear the story from you guys as well.
Yeah, the local service stuff is like where we put a lot of attention the last few years, and I wanted to kind of show you what we've done and maybe see.
Yes, please.
Maybe we can share notes and stuff.
Yes.
But I know that we've only got 8 minutes left. Eric, you also wanted to give a little talk. So.
Yeah, but then David will take a half an hour break. Like for us, it's lunchtime, so we break for half an hour, have lunch and some coffee, and then we come back for another 40 minutes. So we can do that too. You want to start, Dave?
Should I? Yeah, I'll just go for it. Okay. We can show you. I'll just kind of do Uno style and just open web pages like that. Not PowerPoints.
I feel guilty.
It's really cool. Yeah, this is cool. So I actually want to show you first this picture. That this is a paper we did in 2011. I don't know if you can see this. This graph.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, we can see.
So this is when we had a look at all the traffic in the mesh network we helped build there in Zambia with Khatjan and stuff. And we were analyzing how people were using Facebook over this satellite link. And we looked at, actually this is before Facebook was encrypted. So this is a bit evil, but we looked at all the messaging and image traffic moving from the village outside and to people in the village. And what we discovered is these kind of thick red lines you see there are where people inside the village are communicating with each other and sending images to each other. And the interesting thing is, and the blue dots are people outside the village. And we found these much stronger connections between people in the village. And we found that if you, for example, took a photo and you uploaded it to Facebook from within Macha village, there's a 5 times higher chance that somebody in the village would look at that image, rather than like look at an image from outside the village. So, and we realized that people were sending videos and images over this 256 kbps upload link on the satellite all the way out and then, downloading it and the data coming all the way back. And so this was like the inspiration we got to build local services inside the village. And the first thing we built was Village Share, which was actually a Facebook app which would like intercept the images and the videos. So if you tried to access something somebody shared with you in the village on Facebook, it would actually go to a local cache. But since then, in the last couple of years, we started this project, the Neti. There's a web page you can go to, neti.org.za, which is really like, how can we help communities to co-design content, build their own services and content, and upload that to these local servers where you could have local education content, local music, and that sort of thing. And here's a kind of picture of, this is the first web interface we built. And we used it, we just put things like Nextcloud on a local Nook server and hosted that in this community network in Ocean View. During lockdown, for example, teachers would share their lessons on the server, and you could put, let's say, you're a teacher doing, let's go to history. You would record your lesson. Teachers were trained to do digital lessons, and then you put it in your subject, and then so here's like a lesson in Afrikaans on the Industrial Revolution, and then kids would go to the Wi-Fi hotspots and just download their lesson, even when they couldn't attend school. And it worked great. It's not a pretty interface. It's like just pulling files. You could probably do better with something like Moodle or some other tools to make it look nice. But it got the job done. And then we also have this like local YouTube service, it's an open source tool source, Jellyfin, where people would upload. Even had this sort of local TV station where kids recorded little stories about what's happening in the community. You can go and check this out. I'll send some links. But there's like inspirational stories of people in the community, that have recorded growing up in Ocean View. And there's kids reading the weather. So they built like a sort of little TV station. And it's all local stuff, which is really cool. And it's free, and you can access it on the Wi-Fi. So that's kind of what we've been doing over the last couple of years. And I'd be interested to know if you've used some similar tools or tried similar ideas on that little mini PC.
Yes, actually, very similar ideas. I didn't realize
Right.
that. Yeah,
Cool.
very similar idea. But yeah, that's my internet offline. Yeah. I make it more brutal actually. So I collecting a lot of books from the Indonesian Ministry of Education and everything, and I tell people, for those who are having difficulty to access, they are welcome to send me their USB hard drive, and I copy everything to this drive and send it by courier. So in addition to internet offline, we have CourierNet as well.
Nice. That's so cool. So it's like put it on a USB on a.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they call this DTN, delayed tolerant network kind of thing.
Exactly.
Data mules. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we've been there. There was something in India, like that Sandy guy had done something like the mules, the data mules.
On motorbikes.
Yeah, motorbikes and buses and stuff. Okay, guys, we're gonna pause for half an hour.
Okay.
I'll leave the team on if you guys want to chat, because I know some of you are in different time zones and don't really need lunch and coffee, but we do. So we're going to come back to you in half an hour and then go from 1:30 our time until 10 minutes after the hour, and then that will be it. So if you guys, the other guests, if you had a mini presentation or you wanted to say something, whatever, that will be the time. And then hopefully we can get more involvement from the students, and let's just see what happens. So we'll see you in a half an hour, okay?
Cool.
I'm sorry, but I will have to leave you after this because I have some other appointment that I have to keep at.
Okay.
Well, I was also going to say I've got a report deadline at 3, so at 2 I've probably got to finish my report. But
bye, Dave.
Okay,
bye, Rudy.
Okay, I will join in 30 minutes. Okay.
Okay, rest of you will see again in 30 minutes.
Okay.
I'll join for a short time, so and then I'll say bye.
All right, thanks.
Okay,
nice
thanks.
to see you, Rudy.
Bye.
With your move, man.
Have lunch.
I'll ping you on Signal.
Yeah.
You guys can leave your stuff here. We'll lock the door.